The last job that I had at the Country Club of Orlando in Orlando, Florida, the oldest country club in Florida, Central Florida. I worked there for like 6 years. I got tired of this chef yelling at everybody and especially bossing everybody around like a slave and treating you like a dog. So I ended up quitting and starting my own business. I started out a handyman business, and it just took off because the maintenance man from the golf course, the members used to get the maintenance man to do odd jobs in the country club. And these people in the country club, they're very wealthy. Most of them, I don't know if all of them, but most of them own their own business. They're millionaires. They're really rich. So they really don't care, if you charge them a good price, as long as you don't steal from them, as long as you do a good job. So I started getting referrals from the maintenance man, and I started getting a few jobs in the country club. And soon word of mouth went out in the country club. Well, this guy, man, he does a good job. He's honest. He doesn't steal. He charges fair wages for what he's doing. So I had more work than I could handle. So for the next 25 to 30 years, I had my own business. I ended up getting a contract with TG Fridays, painting commercial. I handled all of the TG Fridays in Orlando, Florida for about 7 or 8 years. I was the TG Fridays main maintenance man. When they needed a restaurant painted, they called me up. When they needed things fixed in the restaurant, they called me up. So I worked all over Central Florida. I had my own business. I painted commercial. I painted residential homes. I remodeled kitchens. I remodeled bathrooms. I did drywall work. I did everything. I had my own business. And you will never experience the freedom unless you start your own business. And I did have a helper. Adrian was a helper on many of my jobs. She was my helper, especially when we painted a house. When we painted, she was my trim person. What that means is she trimmed out the windows, she trimmed the doors out, she trimmed the ceilings out. She helped me. She was my partner. And then if I had a really big job, I would hire other people. But folks, owning your own business, you need to look in to creating your own business. And one reason I'm doing this broadcast tonight is to give people hope. A lot of people, they're hopeless. They don't have any hope. And you are raised, poor people. I want to give you some breaking news right now. Poor kids, poor people, you are raised to think you are poor. You are raised, your parents tell you that when you grow up, go to college, get a good job, work for the man, put your money away, and then retire. Well, rich people, they don't raise their kids with that mentality. You know how rich people raise their kids? They say, get a good education, start your own business. Rich people raise their kids to be rich, and poor people raise their kids to work for the rich people. You understand? You were conditioned as a little child, as a little kid, to be poor your entire life. Work for the man, work for Walmart, work for this, work for that. Don't worry about starting your own business. That's too complicated. Well, folks, that's a lie. You will never, ever have freedom in your life unless you start your own business. Being your own boss is the best thing that ever happened to me. I could set my own hours. I could set my own wages. I worked hard. So, whatever you put into the business is what you're going to get out. And I didn't make that much money. I think maybe $30,000, $35,000. But that was over 20 years ago. But I was able to pay my bills. I was able to buy a house. and pay my mortgage payment and pay my bills. I supported me and Adrian with my business. But the biggest reason is you own your own business and you are your own boss. There is no boss that is going to cuss you out or fire you, folks. When you create a business, and that business can be changing oil, mowing yards, doing lawn maintenance, being a handyman, being a painter. Maybe you're good at fixing lawnmowers. Maybe you're good at fixing things like small engines, generators. You could have a car detailing business where you can put everything in your car in the back seat, and you can go around and make $100 to $200 a day washing people's cars and detailing them, washing their car, waxing their car, vacuuming their car, detailing their car, and you can get all your supplies in your back seat of your car. You understand that starting a business is not as hard as you think. And if you do a good job, you will have more work than you could ever imagine. You understand that there are billions or millions of opportunities to make money, that you don't have to have a boss. You don't have to punch a time clock. You set your own hours. You set your own wages. Another good business to start is home cleaning. There are a lot of people that are so busy, they don't have time to clean their own house. It's called a maid. And when I was doing work in the country club and fixing rich people's houses and painting their houses, they always had a maid, and the maid would come in the morning. She would vacuum the house. She would wash the dishes. She would wash the clothes, fold the clothes, put the clothes up, and even cook the food. And this woman, the maid, showed up every day. I don't know if they gave her weekends off, but the maid, folks, did most of the work for these rich people. They will pay you a good wage to come in and clean their toilets, wash their dishes, clean their house. If you do a good job and you're honest and you don't steal from them. So I'm trying to give people hope today. I'm trying to give you inspiration. Do not let what you see affect you. Do not lose your hope. There is always hope if you just think outside the box. If you have the mentality that your parents taught you and your grandparents, well, you got to get a job and you got to work for the man. You got to work for somebody else. No, you don't. If you really want to be happy, if you really want to be free in this life, start your own business. And a handyman license, I believe in Florida, was only like maybe $50, $100. That is where you go to the state and you register as a business. But one thing you do have to do, you have to pay your own taxes. You do have to take care of your own taxes, and you do have to file income taxes every year. So a lot of people make the mistake when they start a business, they don't keep records. They don't keep records of how much money they make, and they don't file tax returns. That's the big no. You've got to pay taxes or you will get in trouble, especially if your business takes off and you're making a lot of money. So always go by the rules, get your business license, get a CPA, a certified public accountant. And if you don't like doing paperwork yourself, keep all of your receipts every single month, put them in a little Ziploc bag and drop them by your accountant so he can take care of your financial records. So when it comes to a time to file your taxes, everything is in order and you don't have to spend weeks trying to organize everything. But I am trying to give people hope today. I'm trying to give you information that just because the economy is not doing very good, if you live in one of these states that are in the blue area, the poverty-stricken states, You say you can't find a job. Well, folks, you can invent your own business. If you don't have a job, start knocking on doors and say, listen, can I babysit your kids? Can I mow your lawn? Can I clean your house? You know, let's say you're a man and you're handy. Print you up some flyers and say oil changes. I will change your oil in your car for $50 plus the oil. And you would be surprised of how much work you could get. If you just do 2 oil changes a day, man, that's $100 a day. Do you understand? I mean, go around your neighborhood, print a couple hundred flyers. This is Bob's mobile oil change business, right? Put your phone number on there. Most guys, if you're halfway mechanically inclined, you really don't need too much to start your business. You need an oil filter wrench and you need a funnel and maybe a few hand tools, right? To take the oil plug out of the oil at the bottom of the engine. So you don't really need that many tools. Maybe $50 or less worth of tools. You need an oil wrench that take the oil filter off the engine. You need a funnel to put the new oil in, and a wrench to take the bolt out and put it back in, and a couple rags, and an oil pan. So maybe you can start an oil change business for $50. And like I said, you could probably get $50 labor to change people's oil in your neighborhood. And if you start making money, then get you one of them magnetic signs and put on your car. So everywhere you go, people will know there's Bob's oil change. They'll copy down your phone number, give you a call. Hey, say, listen, can you come over to my house and change my oil? You say, sure, what time? And you're there, and you make another $50. So if you do 2 oil changes a day, that's $100. If you do 4 oil changes a day, that's $200 a day. If you do it 7 days a week, how much money is that a week? I mean, you can do this part-time. I mean, to supplement your regular paycheck. You understand? There is a lot of opportunity out there if you will only broaden your horizons. Most people are taught to be poor from a very early age. The rich people do not teach their kids to be poor. The rich people teach their kids to be rich and to have money. They are the ones that control the jobs. They are the ones that create jobs. They are the ones that hire all of us, what they call useless eaters, to work in their factories and work in their businesses. But if you really want to truly be free in this world, if you really want to have freedom and joy in your life, start your own business. Everything starts out small. Don't be discouraged. Everything in this world starts out small. It doesn't just automatically you're a multimillionaire. You know, it takes time. You got to pay your dues. But if you do a good job, and if people spread your name with word of mouth, you will have more business than you ever could imagine. You know, I just gave you a few examples: changing oil, cleaning houses, babysitting, painting houses. There are so many jobs that you could start. Mobile mechanic, giving haircuts, another one. Take you a few courses at your local college to cut hair. I don't know if you have to have a license, but it might not be the best haircut, but hey, if you got a pair of scissors, you can cut hair. So I hope this encouraged you today. I hope, with all the bad economic news, with all the other bad things going on in the world, I hope I gave you some ideas and some hope that, with God's help, you can be successful even in when the world is going down the toilet. So don't be discouraged. Look up. I mean, everything is an open door. Everything is an opportunity for you to succeed. The only thing that limits you from succeeding is yourself. If you believe that you can't do it, well, you won't do it. If you believe you can do it, you can do it, folks. It's whatever you believe. You know, you have to start talking to yourself. I am successful. I can do it. I can start my own business. I can be a successful business person. You have to encourage yourself. With all things are possible with God. You know, just believe in yourself. Believe in God. Believe in your abilities. And listen, the harder you work, the more money you'll make. You won't have to worry about being laid off because you got your own business. I mean, don't let the current economic situation control your life. Don't let these breaking news reports discourage you, folks, because there is answers out there. So I hope I did help a lot of you guys. Yeah, dog walker, another one. You can make a lot of money walking dogs and pet sitting. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do to make money. So I wanted to cover that. Let's go ahead and get to some more breaking news right now.